All right. Joe, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, brother. Enjoying this
Good.
fine Saturday morning here, and I'm excited, dude. We're
Yeah,
gonna
we're
do
doing
a
a special
awesome,
edition
awesome
for
podcast.
UK people, man, huh?
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. We've been waiting for this conversation to have with these gentlemen, so it's gonna be good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. We got these gentlemen in the green room, so we will be putting them out there. I don't want them to be waiting too long. But anyways, hey, gentlemen, welcome. Good day and welcome to the show. And this is Mike Toledo, and joined by our co-host Joe Garcia. Now, we're honored to have with us today two experts in the field of paintless dent repair, Graham Seaton of Dent Detail PDR and Martin Sadler of Dent Removal Beverly. Now, on behalf of our listeners, we'd like to express our gratitude for taking the time to be here with us. So let's join in, learn more about these fellas from across the pond. So let's go. Welcome, Graham. How you doing, man?
Not bad. How are you?
And Mr. Martin Sadler, how you doing?
I'm not too bad, thank you. Thanks for having us on. Cheers. Good to see you
Absolutely.
again.
Welcome, fella.
Yeah, we didn't get to chat very much. I mean, we said hi and just like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It
Yeah,
was a big bit of a blur over
we
there.
got a tattoo together, didn't we? Got a dent craft tattoo together.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So let me see here. Let's see. I think we're good to go on stuff like this. I'm gonna take a look. I think we've Joe. Why don't you go ahead and start the show off, dude? Why did we bring these gentlemen in?
Okay, so I've been talking back and forth with both you guys, Graham and Martin, a little bit online on social media for the past couple of years, and I'll tell you what, I I sense a parallel between what you guys in the UK are doing and what Myke and I have been, trying to do in the past few years, and it's like an intensity uh, to your repairs. I see it in your videos. Martin, you get really granular about your repairs. Graham, you do the same thing, but with your posts. I see you on LinkedIn and Instagram, and you guys have your unique way of presenting it. But it's like I said, it's an intensity of the repairs that you're doing. They're very complex, right? And the quality that you get it to, the level, but it even a step further in the way you are trying to communicate it to the consumer. And it's powerful. And I feel like it's again, Myke and I can relate with that tremendously because that's what we've been doing. We're putting the prices out there and effectively changing our local markets. And I think you guys are starting to do that too. So it's interesting. I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you
Yep.
very much.
Yeah. Nice.
So we want to pick your brain. Okay. So I guess you guys got some fans out there, man. So we're just chatting away. Do you guys see those comments popping up?
Yeah, they're
No.
coming up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Um,
see him. Oh, yeah. Slow
I,
down. How
real,
are you doing?
yeah, they're popping up right in the middle of the screen, right, Myke? Is that
yeah.
where you guys are
Yeah.
seeing them?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Okay.
just want
that's
to
Yeah.
it.
make
Yeah.
sure I'm not gonna we're not gonna have time. If I sit here and click on everything that's gonna come through, we'll never get through this podcast. So, but ladies and gentlemen, we do see you. I will, if you have some good questions, we'll start that, and then we'll come back to those questions too as well. So, if you have some really good questions for any of our guests or us, we will bring that to the attention towards the end. So, um, look at Johnny Dents. Yes, lads. I got to post that one for you guys, okay? Because I know Johnny Dents too.
The good lad is Johnny.
All right. Hey, so we're going to ask some questions. United States technicians always wonder about the UK, and the UK, the biggest thing that Joe and I get, is like, hey, we can't get those prices over here. It's a different market over here, and another big thing is about the tools, right? So we're going to ask some specific questions about how you can, what do you do about the limitations about tools? And I know it's pretty pricey about that over there too as well. So if you don't mind, we're going to structure this pretty well. so you guys can have a chance, and we stay, on point and help you guys, help ourselves get those questions answered that a lot of other people were interested in. Does that sound good, guys?
Yeah.
Yep. Spot on.
Okay. Joe, anything else before we kind of like ask those specific
Yeah.
questions?
Yeah, real quick. Graham, I know you're located and operating your business near Manchester area. Martin, I think Beverly is the name of the city you're in, if I'm not mistaken. What is
Yeah,
that?
that's right. Yeah.
What's a major city that we would all know that you're close to?
It'd be Hull or York, somewhere like that. So if you look on a map, Graham is directly across the country. So I'm on the east coast. Graham's on the west coast. So we're at the other side of the country. We don't really have any major cities around where I am. The nearest city is about 60 mile away, and that's when it starts getting busy. But yeah, I think Graham's got a lot more bigger cities around him.
Interesting. Thank you for clarifying that for us. Right on.
I can't figure out how to get us back in.
That's okay. Graham, you've been, I like I said, I follow you on LinkedIn, and it seems like every couple months you're posting a post that shows your Google reviews are up another 100 5-star reviews, which is pretty awesome, man. It's a testament to your work.
I think the main reason why I get so many is I'm just pure retail. I don't do any trade work. I don't do, car sales places, not many body shops. So it's more probably down to the volume of retail work I'm doing. If I do 5 retail a day, chances are 2 of them are going to leave one. But if you're doing that consistently every single day, they add up. They add up pretty quick.
Right on. Well, you're doing something right. We talked a while back about pricing, and Myke kind of already touched on that. And I was laughing because you sent me a couple of years ago. You saw some of my pricing posts on social media where I actually clarify what the price was, and you had mentioned on there, if you don't mind me saying it, kind of putting you on the spot here. You had mentioned you guys can't get those kind of prices where you're at.
No.
And here's the thing, though, Graham, and this is why we're having this chat this morning or this afternoon for you guys. But I get those kind of private messages from dent guys all over the United States, including guys in my area, like 30 minutes away from me, and they're saying the same thing. You can't get those kind of prices where I'm at, and I feel like it's kind of a myth. I feel like part of this conversation is to dispel a myth that people in our industry think that Myke and we're working in Beverly Hills every day, and everybody's very, very wealthy over here, and they don't care about the cost, but that's just not true. A lot of it has been just really pounding the pavement, trying to really illustrate like what you guys are doing, like I had mentioned before, demonstrating the value of what you're doing and showing that this is not just a cheap labor type of operation here. To do it really well, it really is a refined skill and a craft. And I think that in itself commands more than what the mediocre PDR is going to get, and wherever you're at. Does it make sense?
Yeah. I think it's down sort of when you're talking about pricing. There's 2 different ways you go about it. You're either putting your pricing up high, so you're competing against the body shop prices. If it's a body shop repair that could be done in a body shop, but we know as PDR techs we could fix that and save the big body shop job. You can go about it that way. I think what we struggle with the most is the insurance companies over here, they don't entertain PDR jobs. I mean, I've done two in January already. where jobbers come and they said they want to go for insurance, and when it comes to start speaking to the insurance, they just don't entertain it. They'd rather keep it in house at their body shops because they're sticking with their labour rates. Whether they think they can save more money keeping it in house, I don't know, but it still doesn't make sense. If we say we price a job for £1,000 for a PDR repair, and we know it's a PDR repair from start to finish, body shop terms, it might be a £3,000 job. So we could save them that £2,000, but they don't want to take it on, which is just baffling. We just can't get heads around it.
I want to get into some questions here. Joe, are you good? Can I get in there? So, my audio was coming in just a little bit. Joe? Can you just real quick highlight what you're saying, dude? So I don't want to ask the same question.
Yes. Okay. So basically, what I asked, what Graham, in a nutshell, was, we were touching on the whole pricing thing, and how you and I both, Myke, we get messages from other dent repair professionals saying basically we can't get those kind of prices where we're at or where I'm at, and so Graham was explaining a little bit about how the almost a socio-economic culture, this mindset that you just can't get more than the body shop for PDR in UK.
Okay, got it.
Is that pretty much what what you're saying, Graham?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we can try, but they don't entertain it. It doesn't even come to the point where they want to see what we're even quoting. And it happens now and again. I think, like Martin said earlier, he's had one recently where he had the chance to go for an insurance job. I had 2 this month, but they don't want to take it on. They just want to give it to the body shop for the body shop labour and the parts and materials because they make their cuts out of it. I think that's what some of it alludes to.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So, yeah, we're gonna elaborate on that because I mean it's a lot of. I think it's a lot of Joe and I. We've been in this. I feel like the UK, to me personally, is behind like a decade, like in the mindset of teching it out. And the new techs, I feel like you, Graham, right, have that mindset because you weren't conditioned for as long as us techs have been, or people who've been in longer than that, like your trainer Kevin Andrews, right? We'll get to that freaking that bloke later, dude. But anyways, this could go on for a long podcast, but we'll circle back to that. Okay, but these questions are all for you, so I'd like to kind of just keep it going here, if you don't mind. All right. So let's talk about PDR tools. All right. Here's my thing with this. We'd like to gain some insight into the availability of PDR tools in the UK. Are there specific tools that are more difficult to come by, and how does this influence the pricing in the industry? So I'd like you both to answer that. Martin, I'll start with you.
The most tooling's pretty, can be available, but the thing we've got is we're not part of the EU anymore, so we're a country on our own, and the main tools are sourced from the USA. So we've either got air freight or sea freight. So to get any kind of tooling across, you either need to fill up a plane or get a couple of parcels on a plane. It's going to cost you a lot of money, or you fill up a container, whether it's half a container or full container, and all that costs money, and all that goes on to the price of the tooling. So tooling can be quite expensive in the UK when it gets to us, and I think that's the biggest obstacle. If we had a lot more production in the UK, or companies that could make the tools in the UK, then obviously it'd be cheaper for us. But yeah, there you go.
You agree, Graham?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, there's 1 or 2 companies that do ship them in. They're obviously getting them over there from the States, getting them in bulk, but they still have to pass on certain amounts of shipping and I mean, say we wanted to buy something ourselves from any random tool company. Not only are we paying for the tool itself, we've got to pay for the shipping cost, which is generally around £100, no matter how big or small it is. And then when it lands, we have to pay tax on that, so it's another 20%. So an £100 tool could end up costing us 250 to get us in the country. So it adds up.
Yeah.
Now, have you guys ever thought about having a collaboration of a specific group of dent guys who are obviously serious, right? And getting a bunch of, like, talking to a tool company like A1, Anson's, Ultra Dent Tools, someone like that, and say, look, we're thinking about buying like a big set of tools together, and then pulling into that, right? I don't know if that would help at all. I mean, of course, you have other tool manufacturers that import tools as well, but you're still paying the duties and the taxes and all that stuff, what they're paying on it, because they pass it over to you. But or it would be freaking take a boys trip to the United States, but then I guess you have to claim that too as well, though, right? Is that right, Martin?
Costly too.
I'd have to tread carefully with this, wouldn't I? Because I've just been to a dent show in America. Can't have one of those every week, can we? Yeah, I mean, I suppose, anything's possible. Anyone could set up a tool company and ship it into the UK. It just depends on what kind of costs are involved. I've looked into it. I've had a bit of experience into it, and it's big money. So yeah, you'd have to know what you're doing, I think.
Good.
So obviously we have.
Go ahead, Graham.
Obviously, we've got Kiko UK over here, where we get the majority of everything we need. So they're picking up their bits from all your different tool companies over there. They're bringing loads in bulk. They obviously have to pay the shipping and the taxes like we would. They try and keep that down to a minimum, so it's not getting passed on as much to us, but they still got to make their cut to pay for the shipping. So it's, no matter which way about it, we've got to pay shipping, and then we've got to pay the taxes.
Mm-hmm. How do you afford to then, like, don't you pass that on to the client? Because I mean, that's what I'm saying, is that it's so expensive. I've been there. I've been to England myself. I've been to different parts of Europe, and I didn't spend very long in England, but it cost me the most amount of money. I was there the shortest amount of time, but it cost me the most amount of money. Unfortunately, TDN boys freaking handed it to me as far as having a good time, but it was expensive. So I just wanted to say, like, gosh dang, man, like, let's give me an idea of, like, and you don't have to say exact what you charge, but like what do you get for a door ding, like a dent in the door panel, like a 1-inch dent, or I guess, what do you call it in centimeters? I don't know, but like that.
Yeah, if you're just talking, I've not got anything to add. If you're just talking like a standard 5 to 10 piece, like say typical door dent, you'll find up and down the country there's different prices in different areas. Where I am, I start at 120 plus VAT for a dent. No matter how little time I'm spending on that job, it's going to be 120 plus VAT. So you're talking 150 quid for me to do a dent for you.
Okay, that's not bad.
Okay,
good. What about you, Martin?
Bit cheaper for me. Unfortunately, it's 75 plus VAT. So you look at £90 for the first dent. That's like a 5 to 10 mil dent, but they're very, very rare. So you're looking about 120 plus VAT for the everyday thing that that comes through the door, at least.
Okay. So do you think the mindset of the consumer in the UK is, and I think it's pretty much the same here, but do they feel like, hey, the bigger the dent, the more it's going to cost, right? Smaller the dent, the easier they feel that they think it should be, and the lower the cost? Is that the same mindset that they have?
I'd say so, yeah. I mean, it's not always the case. It's when it comes to a small tricky dent, which is like what we try and do in our Facebook posts. If we're posting a dent that's small and sharp on a body line and are hard to get placed, to them it's a small dent, but to us it's like, bloody hell, it's not an easy one to do. So we have to charge more for stripping some more time. But when they see the price for that, they've been just like, oh, it's just a small dent. So you know what I mean? We've got to convince them the work and everything behind it that goes into it.
Yeah.
What's the sweet? Go ahead, Mike.
No, go ahead, Joe.
What would be the sweet spot for you guys? Like, what kind of dents do you prefer to do, and what's the average cost?
Well, like just door edges and quick 10-minute dents. You know, like 20 mil dents. If you do like 4 or 5 of those, you can make a day's wage kind of thing. You can make a good day out of it. Obviously, you don't want just those. You want the bodyline dents and the bigger dents because you can bring in bigger money. But we have to tread carefully with each customer because there's always a cheap body shop around the corner that will fill and paint it for cheaper than a tank of fuel. Yeah. So this is the issue we've got.
I'm going to get to that.
Real quick. Yeah, real quick, Mike. I want to say to Martin's point, I think this might be what you meant earlier, Mike, when you said that UK is about 10 years behind. I don't think you, and you know this, Mike, they're not 10 years behind on their skill level and what they're attacking, what they're doing, but rather the mindset of that's where we've been. In fact, I would say 4 years ago, it was the same thing for us, you guys, competing with low-end body shops, and they're still out here. You know, they're a dime a dozen, along with low-end dent guys, and the end result though is not even close to what you, Martin, and you, Graham, are able to produce. And I just know this because I watch your content, both of you, and and I'm like a fly on the wall, like just in like a consumer, and I see, man, these guys are doing intricate work. This is what their results are better than even what a high grade body shop is going to do. It should be more than the body shop.
Yeah,
and I believe wholeheartedly that you guys in the next couple of years, if you keep going the route you're going, you're going to convince your local markets. I don't care what demographics. Okay, whether you're, Graham, you're in Manchester, big city. Martin, you're more in the countryside, in rural areas. You're going to convince the people around you of the value of what you're doing. And already I guarantee you people already see it. It's just going out on that limb and taking that chance. That's what Mike and I have been doing. Like, and we, don't get me wrong, we take our lumps. I've heard no a lot because of it. But I realize I've changed my mindset to realize I'm the one saying no, because I'm evaluating these opportunities. Mike's evaluating these opportunities. You guys do it too, but it's just like another level of intensity. And we're turning a corner. We really are. And you guys are part of that. So I think, anyway, I'll go ahead and let you go.
We've got no end. Sorry, Joe.
It's okay.
I mean, we can write up estimates and we can charge a lot more, and I can easily do that, no problem, on MTRX. But the thing is, as soon as it gets to a certain price, people are interested to a point, and they're not interested if you can absolutely glass that repair. And this was the whole reason why I started doing YouTube and putting those videos on there and showing all the detail and what's involved in doing these repairs. To show that it doesn't just pop out. There's a lot involved. And there was a couple of videos that I used MTRX and I actually estimated a job up. I didn't do it for that price, but I think it came to £730, which is about $1,000 is £830. So it's £740 or something like that. And I had about 200 messages saying I'm a rip-off, you can get a full car painted for this, blah blah blah, and I was waiting for these. so I do try and showcase what's involved in the PDR and the results you can get. But at the same time, I need to run a business and I need to be profitable. So sometimes I have to lower the price a little bit to get the jobs. But I could easily, do £1,000 a job. It'd be nice.
Yeah, and that's one of my questions that we're going to have in here, because I'm going to touch on that. But I guess we're jumping the gun on it because we're already on that subject.
Sorry.
So, Martin, what you're doing though, keep it up. Don't freaking, dude. Joe knows I put a price board up like on my Facebook page, right, and showing how much it cost. 10 million views, right?
Nice.
And we're talking 10,000 people telling me how much of a ripoff I was, right?
Crackers.
They could say they could replace the wing faster, and they could do it for cheaper, and they could do this and that. But you know what? That gave me more firepower and going, okay, well, people are listening. They just don't know those are all the people who don't know, right?
That's it.
So
yeah. Education.
You gotta keep hitting them harder. Like do bigger like dents and higher costs.
That's right.
Because that's what's we need videos like that.
Yep.
Right? We need videos like that. You are going to get some flack. Trust me.
We ask for no permission. Right? No apology.
So someone says my mic seems a little lower. Let me turn it up, man. I'll turn my volume up. So that should be a little bit more higher, and then I'll turn that
better.
down. Can you guys hear me fine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh? Good?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
We're good.
So anyways, so let's get to the questions here. Okay. So I feel like I'm going to keep elaborating on more of this stuff right here. So I want to move on to the next question here. Let's talk about, and maybe we've already kind of touched base with this, competition in the UK. All right. So the level of competition in any given market can have a significant impact on pricing. In the paintless dent repair market in the UK, competition can be fierce. Could you share your observations on how competition in the industry affects pricing and how you navigate these challenges in your business practices? Now, I know, Martin, you kind of touched the base and Graham a little bit on the body shop part, but what about the general competition, PDR to PDR company?
Again, it varies. I don't like to say other companies are competition, and that's not in a big-headed way. It's the other companies. When I look at my prices, I'll give a quote out and not think for 1 second what the guy down the road charging. You've got to charge your jobs for what you're going to make your profit on. Obviously, you're going through MTRX pricing it all up, but if you start thinking, it might be a bit expensive, that so-and-so might do it for cheaper, you're just going to lower your bar. But then if you keep doing that, you'll never get up again. If you drop it once, you're going to drop it all the time. You can't do that. You've got to stick to your prices and justify the prices, what it is, and show them what it is.
Yep. Martin, you want to add to that?
Yeah, the same. If I don't take into account what other PDR companies are charging around me. I'm actually the most expensive guy around this area. But I know I do a good job, and I can be confident that every job that comes out of my place is 100%. And I even get people from all over the country coming to me, probably because I'm cheaper than Graham. Coming from all over the country to get the work done because they see I'm accountable. So yeah, I just charge it, and I'm not bothered about the other companies. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I agree. Joe and I made that. Joe influenced me too, and then Joe would talk about the low ballers out there and whatnot. But it really comes down to, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you got 10 cheap guys underneath you or around you. It's your business, man, right? You control what you want, right? If you worry about someone else's competition, then you're not really concentrating your business. You're actually paying attention to theirs, right? And you're taking that involvement and that focus point away from yourself. And I think the more people worry about how much someone else charges, is you're lowering. You're just putting 2-3 steps back about how you can go up higher. You could be creating and focusing on videos like you're doing, Martin, right now, about the perception of why good PDR costs the way it does. It's the value of what you're charging, right? The service that you're giving them. Overall, you're giving them an experience. You're not giving them a price, right? If you come up to a customer and you talk price first, you lose, right? So you are really trying to portray the perception that they're going to get more than just a cost. They're going to get an experience with the value and a great repair. There's two customers. There's customers that want the cheapest price, and there's customers who want the best quality work. Joe and I focus on those customers. The number two, the quality focused person who wants the best price. Too many PDR companies or any kind of service type of companies focus on the wrong thing. Well, if I charge super cheap, I'm gonna get a lot more work. If I charge too much, I'm only getting a certain amount of work. Well, I think, believe it or not, it's the opposite, right? So you may not get as many cheap customers, but you'll get very good high-end paying clients, and you work smarter and not harder. By the way, I'm working on a tank right now, a motorcycle tank. It is tough. Hopefully my client's not watching me right now, but I charge $600 for this tank. It is so hard. I've been on it for 4 days, right? I just said, no more. I'm not doing these tanks for less than $1,500, dude. I'm not doing it, man. What about the wear and tear on ourselves, dude?
Yeah, definitely.
So what's that
stuff
worth?
to do.
What's that worth, right? So, I'm not trying to go on a tangent, but I'm just saying, like, we need to wake up and start like picking out which kind of clients we want, because you can't have both, ladies and gentlemen. You can't have both. You'll dilute your brand. You'll confuse yourself. You'll confuse the client, and then you're going to be all over the place. But so that was my little tangent on that, dude. So
that was one of the reasons why I started putting my prices on my jobs, sort of not to weed out people who are just shopping around for the price. If you're putting your pricing on your Facebook post, your Instagram post, people shopping around, you're cutting out the small talk. If they can see what you're charging for a price for a dent that they might have, they think, oh, it's going to cost me this. If it's out of their price range, you've saved your time of going through all the spiel of, no, we can do it, blah blah blah, and then they won't book in because they don't want to spend that. Put the prices on the jobs, and they can see what they're getting at in the first place.
Yep, that's right. Well, you got some all-star people here. There's a lot of different people here. I don't know what Zen. We're talking about something completely different, by the way, dude. So, anyways, bingo, Myke. Okay, cool. Hey,
and forgive us, guys. I don't think we all can see all the comments like we normally do. We're using a different platform, so
can you see? You can't see it in the middle.
I can see what
bingo,
comes up
bingo, Myke.
Yeah, that shows.
Oh, you mean you can't see live what they're saying right now?
Yeah,
I have
live
to bring
what
it
they're
up.
saying. Usually on the StreamYard, we could see it on the right side column, everything they're saying, but
we'll get
we
the
don't
kinks
see
out. We're working on a new platform right here, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll be sure to be like obviously the good comments will. Well, it's not like nobody's comments are good. I'm just saying the important ones. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think the moral of the story, and this isn't a lecture for you guys, by the way.
I'm not lecturing.
And I'm not saying you are. I feel like I am kind of. I feel because it's morning and I'm a coffee drinker, so I hope this isn't feeling like an interrogation to you two. Okay.
No,
or
we're talking to the audience, dude.
Yeah. And we're relating, we're sharing perspectives, and I think the moral of the story is everyone is not your customer, as we always say on here, Myke.
Yeah.
So I got a question. Go on then. I'll let you carry on.
Go for it, dude.
I forgot what I was going to say now. So with when you give your prices, do you have to add any tax? Well, obviously you will have to add tax onto the price. So what is your tax rate in the US?
That varies from state to state. So
what would it roughly be?
7.75%. However, I know mobile techs don't generally charge tax. At my shop for big repairs and things like that, we do. So,
Sorry, did you say 7%?
7%.
7.75%. Yeah.
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 So in the UK, we have to pay, or some people do, if VAT registered, value added tax registered. So if I do a £500 repair, I have to put 20% on top, which makes it £600. This is a killer for bigger repairs. If I do a £1,000 repair, it's £1,200, and the private customer does not like that. Arguments all the time about it. It's not our fault. It's Fishy Sunak's fault. Just one of those things. But this can sway, a price. Also, I can negotiate on prices. So if someone's kind of not wanting the job done, but I can knock a little bit off, then I can usually get the job done and still earn money, because at the end of the day, got to earn money to keep the place open.
Yeah.
And another thing, and I don't know if you're going to say this soon, Myke, but you guys have Carfax and we don't, and that is a massive bargaining chip for the US technicians, and we don't have that.
Yeah.
So you don't have no car history report at all.
Nothing like that. So whereas in the USA, a person comes in for a dent repair, and it could be a successful PDR repair, or it could be a successful repair and paint, and the PDR person says £500, and the body repair shop says $400, sorry. But there's a chance of it going on Carfax or not. They would rather go with a PDR because it doesn't go on Carfax. But in the UK, if we say £500, body shop says £400, it doesn't go on any register anyway. So then they kind of think they're getting more value for the money. And this is the massive problem we've got. We've got no bargaining chips at all.
No, I think they do want to see more for the money. If we're quoting 200 quid for a dent, and then they turn around and say, well, I can get the full door painted for 200 quid. It's like, yeah, you can do, but you don't need to. It's like, why paint something that doesn't need painting? But I think they just want to see more for the money in most of the cases, which doesn't help us.
Yeah. Let me get to my questions here, if you guys don't mind, okay? So we got through that, right? Now let's go do another one here. Growing your PDR company, okay? I think we've touched a little bit on this, but I'm going to put it in here. So as the leaders in paintless dent repair in the industry, it's evident that you're committed to promoting your business and providing valuable services to consumers. Given the high level expertise and professionalism you bring to the table, we were wondering if you have a strategy for continuing to increase your pricing. Could you share your thought process and approach towards the pricing and how you plan on to maintain and grow your business in the future? So that's kind of like the little bit of what we're talking about right here, right? So, it's an uphill battle with the consumer because they do that. And if there's another question, it's kind of, I guess I'll jump the gun because Joe and I have already said this because this pertains to that. So you guys, we call it deductible here. You call it an excess, right? Is that what it is?
Yep.
So
that's it. Yep.
How do you have a plan? And when you're towards that question, do you have a plan to have your client go create, get an access claim, I guess? So how does that work?
I mean, we can do, but again, our insurance works just like me and Mark were speaking out about this before. we have a thing where you get protected, no claims. Now, if you don't make a claim in your insurance, you'll get a cheaper premium. If you do make a claim on your insurance, when you come to renew your insurance for next year, it's just gone up. And
even though it's well, do you guys have comprehensive and liability? It doesn't matter, or was it all tie into one thing? So because
doesn't really matter, to be honest,
doesn't matter. Just go. They nick you no matter what.
Yeah, they're a bit sly, aren't they? Yeah, even if you've got, sorry, Graham, even if you've got protected no claims, if you put a claim in for your own damage, they're going to up it, or they might take 5 years off your no claims. And in the UK, they're quite, people are quite proud that they've got the no claims discounts. So if they can kind of pay for it out of their own pocket, they don't really want to go through insurance. Some insurances if if you don't want to go, if you've put a claim in for the insurance and the insurance tells you to go to a body shop to get your vehicle repaired, if you say, well, I'd prefer if Dent Remover did it, they'll say, yeah, that's fine, but we're not going to give you a courtesy car, we're not going to give you this, we're not going to give you that, and they make it really tough for you.
Double your
Um,
excess.
Sounds familiar.
yeah, double your excess. Um, yeah, go on, Graham. I'll think about what I'm going to say.
But basically, carrying on for that, if you've got, say, you've got a average £250 excess, and our dent repair is coming out at 400 quid, for example, 9 times out of 10, they're just going to use the insurance, or they will find a cheaper body shop quote. With the excess thing and insurances, you can take, you have the right to take your car wherever you want to take it to get it fixed, but your insurance company will try and steer you towards one of their body shops.
First.
Yeah, because they're at their cheaper rates. So if I bash my car, claim, the insurance company say, right, go to this body shop, I'll say, no, don't want to. I want to take it to a body shop I've used all my life through a trust and do a good job. My insurance company will then tell me, right, well, you've got to pay double your excess. So they're getting you either way. So we have to try and get our prices around their excess price. If we don't, it's a tough battle, especially if
And
it's a
like,
big repair.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
and
a
like you
good
was,
perspective now of what you guys are going through. I mean, it is tough. I still think you guys got the upper hand in the long run as long as you keep leveraging that video to your advantage, right?
yeah.
Um,
I don't think the technicians. I don't think the technicians and the PDR industry is 10 years behind. I think it's the vehicle automotive insurance and stuff. They're set in the ways, and they still don't appreciate what PDR can do. We can save a lot of vehicles. We can make them a lot of money. It's environmentally friendly. It's just everything. Everything's a plus point. There's no negatives at all. If you're an approved PDR technician and you're good at what you do, it's just a plus 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 for the insurance. But the insurance just don't recognise PDR the way that the USA do.
well, I don't think that I don't think the
Well,
insurance does either. I went round and round the other day with one,
This is,
and
yeah.
yeah, it's he was dictating my cost, telling me how much the value of my service was worth, and if I could go through the phone and choke him, I would have. Um, but I
Should have
let him
told him what
have
you
it,
was.
dude. I let him have it, and I mean, I felt good because I basically told him he's a cheater and he's a he's trying to dictate the pricing based on his own opinion, and he deliberately is not looking out for the client's best interest. He's looking out not only for his own but for a company he doesn't own. And I said, you're trying to look good for trying to save the company $300 when the client can be a much happier person, has saved their panel, and you're telling them to go to
Exactly.
a crappy body shop that's going to do a crappy job. So I let him have it, but the the main thing is I lost my composure a little bit. But other than that, you know, I strongly feel that we're still in the infancy. Like once these insurance get it, that we're the go-to, because
Yeah,
listen,
100%.
everybody, we're in the paintless collision right now. We're doing big smashes. We're saving what body shops replace in and out, like left and right. Or what do you call them? Panel beaters? What do you call it over there?
Yeah, yeah.
Panel beater
That's what
shops.
I used to be. Yeah, so panel shops, body shops. That's the main thing. Yeah, that's the main word, isn't it? Body shops.
Yeah. And that in itself, I mean, there's this whole conversation is so rich here. We could go on, but like just real quick, like panel beater, that term, it's so indicative of the past, the way things used to work, and why I think we all struggle, no matter where we're at in PDR, to be taken seriously. Uh, because on the surface, to the layman, the consumer, they think we're just beating these dents out. It's like archaic, but it's our job every single day to show how intricate the process can be, especially with these complex repairs, and therefore we can justify the price. As far as the insurance goes, we are still not recognized here in the States as legitimate by the insurance companies, and it varies from company to company. There's some where it's a no-brainer for them and they're easy peasy, but like Myke just said, the conflict he had with that adjuster, I had my share this week, and in my case, they make it very difficult to get a hold of them. Now they're going into automated things, but I do believe that there's a method to doing this, and we're trying to crack the code, and I think you guys can do it too. I think it's going to require like the dent ops style translation of of our PDR estimate from
CCC.
MTRX. So yeah, CCC1
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys, are you using a price guide though for every repair you do? Every dent you estimate?
Just
Pretty much.
MTRX. Yeah.
Yeah. If a customer walks into my shop and can you take a look, give me a price, I'll walk them through WhatsApp on my phone so they can see what they're doing it. If it's, you kind of can get a gauge if it's a quick text, how much is this going to cost? Can you give me a price for that? You know if it's going to be like someone messing around for a price, or do you know what I mean? Whatever. If you get an email inquiry through my website, you know, I can screenshot a screenshot of the WhatsApp MTRX estimate and say this is the breakdown. It shows the factors of what it is. We can send them all that, which we do.
Yeah. You too, Martin?
Yeah. I mean, I was speaking to Paul Corden about this the other day. And, you know, I use MTRX as well and put the factors in, and that's the price. And he was talking about the CCC. It's, again, not many people would like to go through the insurance. They'd rather pay out of their own pocket. But there's a bar to what they think is acceptable and what they'll walk away from. You know, go shopping elsewhere. And no matter how, I think, in my opinion, and I've been doing it a while, no matter how good you are or whatever you put on the internet, people are always price conscious, and it's, unless we've got that Carfax in the UK, it's a struggle.
I hear what you're saying, Martin, and you have a great point. And what you said earlier about, you know, you have a business to run, you have to remain profitable. I get it, because I'm on the other side of that. I am the guy who I use the price guide as a feature to get in front of the kind of customers I want to deal with. And that's the high ticket customers who are usually very picky. So I kind of overcompensate the level of quality that I present, like to an obsessive level. Like I'll show always putting tape on the end of the tool, you know, so I don't scratch, and I'll explain that it's so I don't scratch the inside of the panel.
Yeah.
Now, 90% of consumers don't give a crap about that.
No.
Let's face it. But there's a small percentage of people that do. And that's who I want to get in front of. So I do make that sacrifice, and I have taken my lumps. And at times where it was scary because I was so slow.
Yeah.
But my point is that I think that we have to remind ourselves that we're not going to get every customer. So we have to really be tuned into the needs of whom we are serving, and then we adjust the price accordingly. That said,
100%.
Using the pricing guide consistently, high and heavy estimates, like Paul Corden says, it has, and then sticking to it. Not because I have my own head trash here, where I start to think, oh, maybe I should give a discount, or maybe I should leave off this factor. I'm undermining my own program.
That's not going to pay your bills either.
You just don't know what that customer is going to be. You could think, right, I might do a cheap quote here to think I'm going to get a job, but that customer might not care. He might have limitless funds. You don't know the person in front of you. You don't know what they want to pay or what they're looking for until you give them that quote.
Questions. You ask a lot of questions, and then have, in my case, and I'll just tell you this, I have pricing all over the place. In fact, I don't even send them my homepage anymore to my website. My link is my Dent Evo /pricing page. because I want them to know right away if we're going to work together. If that price and the price guide is right there, along with lots of videos, and it shows up that where my price point is. And if somebody's going to think that's too expensive, they can call somebody else. Don't even waste my time.
Yeah,
That's the point, though, Joe. It's like let's do your homework, everybody. Okay, go look on Instagram, look on Facebook, look on YouTube, look at the people that you follow a lot. Are they actually setting the client up for the preparation of what they charge? Right? Are they? Because when you say nothing, you're attracting everybody, but it's like throwing a freaking big net in the ocean, right? What are you going to pull up? You're going to pull up all kinds of crap. That's what you're going to do. And the big thing is the tire, right? The big tire kickers. But when you go out specifically and you have a specific fishing rod and you go way deep in the sea and you have the right bait and the right pole and the right line and you're fishing for tuna and marlin, well, guess what? You're probably going to catch tuna and marlin. But when you don't say nothing and you don't have stuff on your website, you don't have stuff on your social media that is structured and supporting what you're trying to do, then good luck. You're never going to get that type of client. So what has been working for Joe and I is doing exactly what I'm saying, is putting the pricing. And I know for some people it's really hard to do because they're thinking, well, fudge, man, people are going to think I'm too expensive. I'm not going to get any calls. And that might happen. Yeah. But I think it has to do with what you do beyond what you want, but are you supporting what you're thinking on your criteria, on your information, your social media? So I think that has something to do with it. Now, back to you both. Do you think the geographical area matters, or do you think it's just the lack of information, like I was saying, to the consumer that actually that affects the cost? Graham, what do you think?
What do you mean in terms of getting the customers in?
Yeah, I mean, do you think it's where you live or where it's at or whatnot?
Obviously, there's
A little bit of both.
all over the country. There's different like income brackets and more affluent areas and others, and then other areas not so much. It depends where you're based. If you're in a big city or you're in a big area with loads of small towns and you've got more people to try and get in, then you're going to have more success. If you're in a quiet area, say comparison between me and mine, there's less people to try and bring in. So I think it does. If you're sort of advertising in more affluent areas, you've got more chance of getting the bigger tickets for the job. That's just natural in anything, no matter what you do.
Yeah. There you are, Martin. Welcome back, dude.
I was sorry. I had to get off. So I was choking. My eyes were streaming. And anyway, I'm back now.
A question. This is a
because
question
we're
for you guys.
interrogating.
Danny says, "Hey, are these guys planning to get a shop, or are they totally mobile?" So, Danny has a question for you. I'll leave that up. Martin.
Okay. Yeah. So we both got shops. And we're both mobile as well. Well, I have one day dedicated to being mobile. I try and get people to come to me, and I'll say I'll give them a free estimate, and it's there's no extra charge for repairing it at the workshop. But if I'm mobile, then it's at least 20 plus the VAT, so £24 for an mobile estimate. And then if they want me to repair the car at their place, it's £24 again. I'm trying to get them to come to me, you see, but if they drop the car off at ours, if they come with a couple, we can drop them off in the local town for free. They can go for a coffee and we'll pick them up once the car's fixed for free. So we kind of get them to drop the cars off at the workshop so we can fix them.
Yeah. I'm similar, really. I won't go out and do an estimate. I've done that when I was fully mobile. I did that too many times and thought I'm wasting my time here, because you can go out your way, give them a price. No, sorry, I don't want to pay that. So I knocked that on the head. I'm probably 90% in-house, 10% mobile now, which I want to be fully in-house. But if
Yeah.
people do want to go out mobile, if it's within an hour, it's another 25 quid. Anything over an hour's drive, I'll double it. But again, same thing as Martin. If they don't want to pay the call out fee, they can come and bring it to me, which say they're more than happy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. I think what
Service.
what do you like about being in a shop? I mean, obviously the client comes to you, but what beyond that, what do you like about
Not
it or
getting
don't
wet.
like about it? What's that?
Not getting wet.
Not getting
Yeah.
wet. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
That-
when you're on the road, it's nice in the summertime because you can get a tan and you get coffee and biscuits if you're lucky. But if you drink too much coffee, you need a toilet, so you have to go to the McDonald's or whatever. But being in a workshop, you've got your own toilet, you've got your own kettle. You can take your time. You can be fixing a vehicle, and you'll have free estimates, free people, free customers that will come in for an estimate while you're fixing that job. If they're easy ones, you can come off the big job to do the small jobs. So having a workshop, you're a lot more work efficient.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my reason I like a shop is, I have the freedom, everything's there, right? You don't have to travel to people, and I don't have to worry about the
All
hustle
your
and
tools.
bustle. But the other thing is that, if you have shop hours, you're stuck there until those shop hours end, right? You don't have the freedom
Yes.
like you would be able to, like, all right, I'm done with my second job. I can go home and do what I want, whatnot. But I think but if you're trying to build, I think the way you guys are going, I think I'm not telling you guys who are mobile you need to get a shop. I'm just saying that's it has some pros and cons. That's subjective, but
I think
if
I
you can
think
stay small, keep it all. I mean, that's good too as well. So
I think having a shop is definitely the right step if we are trying to break into the insurance side of things. It just looks a bit more legit if we've got a roof overhead. We can come in, strip the car down, do what we need to do. I don't think the insurance would like it if we're going out to someone's house, ripping the car to pieces, fixing it and going back. It just looks a bit more legit if you got a roof on your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not a day that goes by of me fixing complex repairs or completely taking my customers' cars apart in their driveway and then advertising that. But
Yeah.
I always think of the advantages across the board of having a shop, whether we're talking about the technical work or like you said, Graham, showing legitimacy to whomever we're dealing with, because once again, insurance. Remember, it's just another way for the customer to get what they want, which is you to repair their car. That's just another option, right? And there's a method to dealing with that. And so I think there's ways to do it. At the end of the day, the people I deal with, they know they want me to do it. They specifically are seeking me out. And if they don't, if me not having a shop is a concern for them, if it scares the crap out of them that I'm taking apart their car in their driveway, well, they can go somewhere else. Good luck. They're not going to get what I'm offering in my market.
yeah.
Do you have a body shop that you could borrow if they wanted a roof overhead? Can you do that?
I have resources. Yes,
Yeah.
I do. And in fact, I have a full Carolina frame machine that is at my disposal, in my buddy's shop, if I need it. And I've used that in my marketing as well. I've done some on there, and so the resources are there. You know, but and it's realistically it's in my future, and you know why, you guys? Because my knees and my back aren't getting any younger, and
This.
I would love to be able to lift like work on a lift like what you're showing there, Martin, in your videos. I think that's brilliant. I think I like your pool tower that you fabricated on your own. It looks like it. I mean, it looks great. This guy, Myke, this guy like invented his own pool tower, and it leverages. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Martin. It leverages up against the lift, so you have basically your own frame machine.
Yeah, basically, I put some C channel in the floor, and so it's kind of like that, and then it hooks in. So when you pull in, it pulls against the seed channel, so it self anchors when it's pulling. But one of the main reasons why I did get a workshop is for that reason, for the lift. It was sometime in one winter time. I was doing a dent on the bottom part of the door. It was on a slight incline and it was raining, and I was just laying in the water that was coming down the side of the road. I was literally laying in a
Gutter.
a gutter. Yeah, I just thought this I've had enough. And waking up every morning and your knees are absolutely killing me. So getting the ramp was the main thing, and it's absolutely changed the way I do repairs. I'm standing up, so is it ergonomics, something like that? Yeah. So you're looking after your body while you're working. It's 110% worth it getting a ramp.
How long you guys been? I guess I should have asked you that, but Graham, I know you're relatively new, and then Martin, how long you guys been doing PDR?
2019, I passed my training, so 3 years.
Deal. And Martin,
You're dangerous, aren't you, Graham? 3 or 4 years, and you're at the standard you're at. Bloody hell. 2011, I set up my business, but I started practicing in 2006.
good deal. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So speaking of that subject here, so PDR's come a long way, right? And since Joe and I have been in this business, and this is for you, Graham and Martin. But what strategies do you think that you have taken, for the approaches that has helped you excel? Like, what do you think has really helped you excel in this PDR industry? Like, it could be tools, it could be the marketing, but it could be a combination. Just give me an idea of like some really important things maybe our listeners can take an account for. What do you think those are? And Graham, someone already reply and says, "How in the hell are you getting all those reviews, man? I want the formula you're doing, dude." So,
That's a great question.
Don't do trade work is my reasoning for that, because I'm just 100% retail, so I don't do any car sales places. I don't do, you know what I mean, trade work in that sense. I don't do bulk work. I've got a few friends with a few body shops, but they might only call me once a month. But apart from that, I'm all retail. So if I'm doing 4 or 5 retail jobs a day, chances are 2 of them are going to give me a review. So I just give them the spiel after I've done the job. Say you'll get your receipt, you'll get an email. If you'd like to fill out the email, I can send you a link, and then I'll always wait till the evening time, around 6 or 7 o'clock. Everyone's sat down, had the tea, kids are in bed, everyone's just sat on the telly, sat on the couch, looking at the phones. It's a perfect time to send a reminder. So then I'll just send, "Thanks for the work today. Thanks for coming over. If you're happy with my working service, would you mind leaving me a short review? If you need anything in the future, please feel to get in touch." Send them a link direct to my Google page, and 8 times out of 10, they leave one. So a bit of a process, but it works.
Right on.
Martin?
Yeah, I mean, I do a tiny bit of trade. I've just put my prices up, so I probably won't have it for long. Good. But yeah, I mean, the way I get to work is through social media, just putting my repairs up, just trying to be visible on the internet, and running everything through YouTube, showing what I can do, and the people see that and they travel far and wide to get the dents done. I think I get more out of town work than I do local work.
Yeah. Good deal. Nice. Joe, you got any more questions on that, dude? On this?
I was going to ask, how long are you guys booked out now that you're in a shop as opposed to mobile? And do you feel like you've lost some part of the clientele as a result?
It's probably wrong time of year to ask. At the moment, I'm 2.5 weeks booked up. If you would have asked me, well, it's the wrong time for our country at the moment. We're going through loads of problems of where our country's being run and prices and everything. not just our industry. The country's a mess. If you would have asked me 6 months ago, I would an easy 3 weeks to 4 weeks solid booked up every single day of retail jobs. But at the moment, about 2.5 weeks pure retail.
See, let me ask you this then. So why are you like that? Most techs I talk to in the UK are just, not gonna name no names, but they're grumpy, they're pissed off, they don't have a good attitude about what they're doing. Their mindset's kind of off, dude. And Graham, you are a 3-year tech, right? 3.5-year tech, and you're busy that much, and you have a shop, and you're already that far ahead where PDR techs haven't got it, right? And they've been in the business for 20 plus years, and they're still, excuse my French, but they're bitching about how bad life is, and they don't look at themselves as well as you do. So why do you think the success of that for you has been that way? What was your focus point? What did you decide to make yourself and put yourself in that position?
Probably a few things. I mean, my background probably helps. I mean, before this, I painted cars for 16 years, but the body shop I was at high end. So I'm a trained Bentley and McLaren paint sprayer. So I worked on nothing but the high end stuff, and I wanted to carry that over into the jobs I was doing. I didn't want to do the trade work. I didn't want to go around. Say people do very well out of trade, but it wasn't for me. I wanted to take the time and do the best job I could possibly do and charge the best money I could possibly get. So that was kind of the route I wanted to go. Obviously, in terms of training, obviously, Kevin Andrews and Colin Bowen, I did my training with, well, they were TDN at the time, but Kiko UK now. I was just a sponge. So I just took in every single thing they said and just put it to practice. When I finished my training, obviously I was still in the body shop. Every single day, lunchtime, I'd be practicing on the bonnet. I'll be spending an hour after work, and then I'd take an old panel home, practice at the weekend. The first year I did my training, there was 3 days in that year where I didn't practice unless I was on holiday. So I just thought, if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. You got to go all in. So that's the way. I don't know. Maybe I've just got lucky getting to where I've got. I don't know, but you got to go all in. There's no point doing it if you're not going to do it properly.
That's a good question. I mean, what I'm getting at though is, what I'm getting from you is that use your mindset. You had a choice of what you want to do. You like, okay, I'm not going to lower my standards going from this type of work into this and throw myself into the lions right here. There you go. There's proof in the pudding, dude. Like one of the hardest markets, right, Joe? Right, in the UK, right? And everything, you got the taxes, excess, everything's going against these guys, honestly. And he's finding a way to stay booked, right? And at such a young experience, right? Not a young guy. You've
just got to.
Yeah, go ahead, Martin.
Sorry, Mike. You've just got to make yourself known. It's a niche. It's a small. It's not a big industry. Sorry, not a big part of the industry. Whereas motor repair is a lot bigger. So you just got to push yourself out there, make yourself known. Again, with social media, you've just got to be boom, boom, boom. This is who I am, and that's how you cast a bigger net in the ocean and get more work in. And that's what I've always thought, and that's why I've always done what I've done.
Amen.
That's why you guys. That's what I was saying. I'm putting in perspective, right? You guys have your specific fishing poles, and you're trying to catch a certain type of fish, right? I'm going to take Danny's comment here, but he wanted to know what you guys' handles are on your social media.
Just business and Dent Detail PDR.
What is it?
At Dent Detail PDR.
Martin?
Yeah, my Instagram is dent_remover_Beverly, and YouTube is Dent Remover 01.
Okay. You can change if you wanted to. You can change the handle now on YouTube. So
Mm.
you
Oh
want
no,
to?
yeah, I like the 0-1 bit.
That's the only bit you wanted.
It's
Number
super
one.
interesting, man.
It's the other thing
good
I'm
stuff,
after.
man. 'Cause, I'm knowing that. But one more question for you, Graham. I understand you actually reached out to me for PDR training, and I spoke to Kevin. I do remember your name, and I had a good conversation with Kevin, and he's like, "Well, you're the one that referred me to Graham to come see me, and he's just been nothing but a delight." And but the only thing I regret that you didn't train with me is that you trained with Kevin, because that freaking, how much did he make you cry and whatnot and all that good stuff. No, he's a great dude, man. So tell me a little bit about your training with Kevin Andrews.
Well, yeah, basically that's what it was. Kevin, he was checking through a few emails the other week, and he sent me the screenshot. Obviously, when I first wanted to get into PDR, well, that's obviously it's a proof by putting everything out on social media. You were the first person I found doing PDR training. You know what I mean, in the world. Obviously, you're on the other side of the states, and I did consider it, like I spoke, but I didn't have the funds at the time to come over. I just had my first son, so it weren't really the right fit to come over. And you obviously put me in touch with Kevin at TDN at the time. Went through the process of looking at training, booked in with him. Obviously, Colin Bowen did most of the training. If he's watching, cheers, Colin. And then Kevin joined in as well. Yeah, it's a 4-week training course. I did in two week sessions. So I did the first 2 weeks, came back at the weekend in between, and then I think I had a month break. And in that month break, I was just practicing at work, and I just hit a brick wall, because at that point at the time in training, we hadn't learned to work on aluminium, and obviously all the Bentleys we had in work, every single bonnet's aluminium. So I was practicing fixing little dents on aluminium bonnets. I was like, what's going wrong here? Why can't I do it? Just couldn't fix anything. Tiny little dent. And it was only until I got back I'd realised the lad said, right, we're going to do aluminium this time. I was like, that's what I've been doing for the past week, and I just couldn't fix anything. So yeah, I did the second 2 weeks, aluminium, all over tricky bits like edges of panels, going through everything through the process. And I think if you're gonna come through it, you've got to get good training. You see places offering like 1 week, a few days training. It's not enough. You need a good 4 weeks, solid, even
easy,
at least. Yeah.
Gentlemen,
how about you,
I'm
Martin?
Be quite honest with you, I got 6 minutes left for this podcast, okay. So so if we can just wrap it up in a little bit, because I actually got to work today. So.
Oh man.
Joe,
no, I was nice and easy for me. I self-taught, so I got shown the ropes while I was panel beating. I just practiced until I got the hang of it, and then set up my own business.
Self-trained, then.
90%, yeah.
Okay, right on, guys. Well, both of you represent our industry very, very well. I appreciate what you guys do, and I have much respect for you. Myke and I both do, and I want to just suggest a couple things here. Man, this is just constructive. Despite you not having the advantage of a Carfax vehicle report in UK, you still have resale value of the vehicle.
Yeah.
And so run with that, remind the consumers that, their car will be worth less money if it's painted, versus what you guys do. So you have that. And do also use that price guide. And the more you do start off high and heavy, like Paul Corden says, you can always come down, whatever that negotiation comes out to, and then, go check out Paul Corden's group. I think it's called Mobile Tech RX Price Guide. Right? Paul Corden's Price Guide. Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. I encourage everyone to go on there and see what other people are doing. It's very inspiring. And, it tells us, it's proof that people will spend the money when they really want your quality.
Yeah. I think you guys are both doing an excellent job. It's not, it takes more than just one good video, right? It takes hundreds. You know, it really does. It takes hundreds of videos to get your point across. And and you can't do enough Dording stuff, dude. Like it's really, it's easy to do, and kind of gives people, I think more people need to be more educated what a Dording costs than a big smash, because they automatically know that the big smash is going to cost them a little bit, right? The Dording is where they get surprised, right? Or hopefully you guys are still doing some of it, but you know, anywhere between 1 to 5 inches, you know, it can be costly, man. So but tremendous amount of work. Congratulations to you both. And we actually appreciate, Joe and I appreciate you taking your time to come on our show.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're good.
Yeah, again, we appreciate you too and what you've done for the industry. You're both super guys. And yeah, thanks for having us on. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Myke, do you have time for a quick tech tip?
Joe, go ahead.
You have time for a quick bonus tech tip?
Oh, shoot. Let me
for our audience?
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Let me pull it up, dude. It says I forgot to put it up here. Hold on a second. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna put it up right now. I'm gonna send it.
This show is nothing but value, okay?
100%.
There we go. Okay,
actually, it's all about Myke and I just coming back and reporting back to each other about our struggles in trying to get the prices that we want. That's really what the core of these conversations have been, you know. So we all deal with it.
Yeah, we are really progressive we are progressing with our prices. It's just every person, you just got to treat every person as you know, individual and a new task, you know, a new challenge.
Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on, let me throw this on here, okay? See if I can.
What's the tech tip? Come on.
You guys ready?
Do we need a drum roll? Are you all right? Drum roll?
This is from our friend Keith Cosentino from PDR College. Do you know him?
All right, yeah.
It only works with Black Plague tabs, though.
You mean so you're saying don't stop messing with your thumbnail and scratching up the edge, huh?
Exactly. That's what Keith said. You know, on the hard plastic ones, because they're kind of hard to get out, and you scratch the panel. And then I used it the other day on those little, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Mercedes, I can't remember the model, but it's like a hatchback SUV. And they got these tiny little like 1/8 inch plugs that are like rubber with not very much of a lip around them. And what happens is you try to pull them out and they fall right in. So you got to take apart the whole thing. And I used Keith's tip, and I glued a little tab on there and pulled it right out. And it's such a tiny little detail, right? But that's what we do, man. We forget how many skills and techniques are involved in this whole process across the board, and we forget about that. But they really do help, and it lends itself very well to the value of what we're providing ultimately, you know.
My tech tip, if I'm stuck on trimming on RMI, just ring Martin. Send Martin a video and he tells me what to do.
all the time, step by step. Yeah, I can do it. Yeah, well, I've not charged a fee, have I?
We got to get going. All right. Thank you both for coming on. We appreciate that,
man. We're already outside.
Hey, anybody last questions? Okay, Danny says, Kent says both guys are smashing it, right? I don't know where and then Keith, I don't know where it's at. Where's my, anyways, I'm new to this little system I got, but Danny says, loved it, guys. Best wishes to you guys too as well. So, okay.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Final goodbye. Thank you very much, Joe. I'm going to catch you on the phone later on, and cheers to you both over there in the UK, Graham and Martin.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us on. Take care.
Cheers.